Welcome to another episode of Navigating Your Unretired Life. Today, we're going to take a little slightly different direction. We're actually going to continue with Stephen Charleston in a great book that he's written called We Survived the End of the World. So, buckle up and here we go. So, we're talking about a book that I've been listening to called We Survived the End of the World. These are lessons from Native America on apocalypse and hope by Stephen Charleston. And here's a description here. From the moment European settlers reached these shores, the American apocalypse began. But Native Americans did not vanish. Apocalypse did not fully destroy them, and it doesn't have to destroy us. Pandemics and war, social turmoil, and corrupt governments, natural disasters and environmental collapse. It's hard not to watch the signs of the times and feel afraid, but we can journey through that fear to find hope. With the warnings of prophet and the lively voice of a storyteller, Choctaw elder and author of Ladder to the Light, Stephen Charleston speaks to all who sense apocalyptic dread rising around and within. You'd be hard pressed to find an apocalypse more total than the one Native America has been confronted for more than 400 years. Yet, Charleston's ancestors are a case study in the liberating and hopeful survival of a spiritual community. How did indigenous communities achieve the miracle of their own survival and live to tell the tale? What strategies did America's indigenous people rely on that may help us to endure an apocalypse or perhaps even one from happening? Charleston points to four indigenous prophets who helped their people learn strategies for surviving catastrophe. Ganiadayo of the Seneca, Tascawada of the Cheyenne, Smohalis of the Wanapams, and Wovoka of the Paiute. Through gestures such as turning the culture upside down, finding a fixed place on which to stand, listening to what the earth is saying, and dancing a ghostly vision into being, these prophets help their people survive. Charleston looks too at the Hopi people of the American Southwest, whose sacred stories tell them they were created for a purpose. These ancestors' words reach across centuries to help us live through apocalypse today with courage and dignity. And here's some information about the author Stephen Charleston. He's a citizen of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. He comes from a family with a long history of service in the Native American community. His great grandfather and grandfather were both ordained pastors who preached in their native language in rural communities throughout the state. Following in their footsteps, Stephen was ordained in Wakpala, South Dakota, on the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. Stephen was a national director of Native American ministers in the Episcopal Church, a tenured professor of systemic theology at Luther Seminary, the Bishop of Alaska, and the president and dean of the Episcopal Divinity School in Cambridge, Massachusetts. In 2014, Trinity College in Hartford committed named a building after him to honor his work in interfaith cooperation. Today, there are over 18,000 people who read his daily meditations on Facebook and thousands more around the world who read his books through Red Moon Publications. So here's a peek inside the book. You got to read the book or listen to it. I'm listening to it on audible.com, and it's very good. The first chapter is about apocalypse, and he really goes into explain that it's not only just the end, but it's also a revelation for Native Americans, people who rose up as prophets in the midst of chaos. And then he goes into Ganiadeo of the Seneca and what his message and contribution was, Tezcatlipoca of the Shawnee, Smohala of the Wanapams, and Wokva of the Northern Paiute, and the Hopi of Arizona. And these prophets are all people, ordinary people like you and me, who responded to an inner righteous call to take action and to resist spiritually. And so his epilogue is really a call to not only other Native Americans, but to us, people across the world, to stand up as our own prophets, and that we can live through this by these lessons of his people. So I think this is a great book to consider listening to or buying or whatever. And hopefully I'll reach out to Stephen one day and he'll be online and we can have a really great conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my share here and invite you to communicate with me. Let's connect. If you like where we're going with our series, Navigating Your Unretired Life, I suggest you subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment too. What can we do to make this even better? You have some great ideas that can make a contribution in a very positive way to help people move forward in really great ways to help the planet, particularly with regard to the environment, which is really scary with the new administration in total denial and destruction. We're drilling, drill, and all that. But anyway, but you can text or call me at 206-920-8067. You can email me at support@newworldcom.com. You can visit my website at newworldcom.com, and I would love to connect with you, via your comments, by talking to you, having you online as a special honored guest, talking about the work that you might be doing. So this is all an opportunity to come together as a people across locally, regionally, and across the planet. So thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you.